Nicole here, and I'd like to welcome you to episode number 27 of Nicole's Weekly Words. It's so wonderful to have you here, and I thank you for joining me. I am live on my Facebook page, in my Facebook group, and on my YouTube channel. And for those of you who can't join me live, I thank you for watching the replay. I hope you're all really well today and that you're ready to start off a new week with some great new vocabulary. That's what we're here for. Nicole's Weekly Words is here to help you improve your vocabulary skills, understanding, usage, and confidence. But you know what? If you start the week off by learning vocabulary with me, then you're interested in vocabulary, hopefully, and wanting to learn more and more throughout the week. So thank you for making the commitment to your English language skills and to making an improvement in, your overall knowledge and understanding and usage. This week I've chosen 5 great new words, and they all begin with the letter S. Believe it or not. There are many words in the English language that begin with S, but I've chosen 5 that I think all of you will benefit from. 5 where I'm sure you'll learn something new, and 5 which I think are important for you not only to understand, but to start using as well. So the 5 words for this week are sabotage, skeptical, superficial, scrutinize, and subtle. Are you ready to learn a little bit more? Let's start with the first word for this week, and that is the word sabotage. 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 Can you say that? Perfect. So what does it mean? The word sabotage basically means that someone deliberately destroys or damages something, especially because it will help them personally. Not very nice, is it? So when really someone prevents something from working or from happening, and they do this on purpose. They might be jealous, or they don't really want this person or this company to be successful. So some horrible people out there decide that they want to sabotage someone's product or plan or company, and that's just not right. So basically they might destroy or damage some equipment or tools, or maybe a building, maybe machinery, so that they can prevent the success of maybe a competitor, or maybe of someone that they themselves see as a threat. They could be an enemy or just someone that they're jealous of. So they sabotage, unfortunately. It's really when they deliberately, on purpose, destroy an action or a plan or a product, an object, so that it won't go ahead, so that they'll prevent it from going ahead and it won't be successful. So that's sabotage. I'm sure you have this word in your language as well, and I'm sure it means the same, and I'm sure all over the world we are aware of sabotage, and we're aware of sabotage and that it happens and that it's the wrong thing. Let's have a look at some examples. We've got number 1. He was arrested for sabotaging the safe removal of the power lines, which led to the death of his colleague. Number 2. I'm worried that her aggressive nature may sabotage her chances at the company. Number 3. she will forever blame him for trying to sabotage her career and her chances at landing her dream job. And number 4, the opposition was accused of trying to sabotage the election. Oh no. Number 2, are you ready for the second word? We've got the word skeptical. Skeptical. Can you say that? Excellent. So if a person is skeptical, it really means that they're not easily convinced about something, you know. They have doubts or they have reservations. They're not really sure that what they see or maybe what they hear is the truth. So when someone doubts something, you know, they doubt that something is true. They don't believe it. They don't really trust it. I suppose you could say that they question absolutely everything and everyone. And they're very suspicious, I suppose, could be a good word there. Do you know a person like this? Do you know a person who is skeptical? I'm sure you do. We all do. Yeah, so really, they're not easily persuaded. They're not easily convinced of something. They're hesitant. Yeah, that's probably a good word. So that's a person who is skeptical. Let me give you some examples. I'm quite skeptical about his chances of success at the competition, especially as he hasn't trained in over 6 months. Or he has a more skeptical view than most. It's always difficult to convince him of the truth. Or my manager isn't worried about these hurdles at all, and he believes it will all work out. The team, however, remains a little more skeptical. So there you go. If you're not sure of skeptical and my explanation isn't clear enough, then please do ask in the comments below and I'll help you a little bit more. The next word we have is superficial. Superficial. Can you say that? Yeah, okay. So look, when something is superficial, okay, it only exists on the surface, or it only happens at a surface level, I suppose. It doesn't go any deeper. So look, a person, I suppose, could also be superficial. It means that they only see things or only see other people, perhaps, at the surface level. You know, they don't look any deeper. They really care more about the appearance, I suppose, than what is underneath, than what is inside, than the real person, I suppose, and their personality. Yeah, so look, if you judge a book by its cover, then you're superficial. Or if you worry about the clothing or the brand or the hairstyle of yourself and other people, you're superficial as well. Yeah, so a person who doesn't really look at or even think about what is important or what is serious, that's superficial. Or a situation where something, I suppose, isn't done properly. It isn't done fully. It isn't done deeply or completely. It's just, you know, skimming the surface. That is superficial. An example, this essay has been written in such a superficial way that it doesn't even examine anything in depth. Number 2, I don't really enjoy spending time with her because she can be so superficial. Or he describes his homeland as being filled with greedy and superficial people. That's one reason why he left. Or the final example, it's impossible to have a serious conversation with her. She's only interested in superficial topics like celebrities and pop culture. That's a bit tough. That's a bit difficult. Number 4, we've got the word scrutinize. Scrutinize. Can you say that? Yeah, look, if you scrutinize something or someone, it means that you examine or inspect something or someone very, very closely. Very thoroughly, I suppose. You're looking in great detail. You know, you're looking up close for any mistakes or any flaws, or maybe for some more detailed information. You know, you're looking at the smallest of details really, really, really carefully and with great attention. And often, I suppose, with great criticism as well. You know, if you scrutinize something, it has this underlying meaning that you're looking for something that's wrong. You're trying to find a mistake or something that's bad, I suppose. Scrutinize. An example. Part of his job as a detective is to scrutinize people's faces for signs that they are lying or withholding information. Number 2, the secret to being a champion chess player is to scrutinize your opponent's every move and to always be one step ahead. Number 3, the reality has become that every celebrity is scrutinized by the media. Not for their talent, but for their appearance. And number 4, I'd encourage you to scrutinize the document before signing it. Very good tip. That's scrutinize. Let's look at the final word for this week. We have the word subtle. Subtle. Can you pronounce that? Yeah. So even though it's spelt with a B, we don't pronounce the B. We don't say subtle. No. We say subtle. Subtle. That's right. And look, if something is subtle, it means that it's not directly obvious. You know, it does not attract attention, I suppose. It's quite delicate and maybe understated, I suppose. So you could talk about subtle as being delicate. Number 1, delicate. You know, it could be a subtle fragrance. It means that the smell of the perfume or the fragrance is not overpowering, you know, it's just very small, very slight. We could talk about subtle as being difficult to understand, you know, so we could have a subtle difference in the sound of something. It sounds almost identical, but maybe it's a little bit higher or a little bit lower, perhaps. We could talk about subtle as being perceptive or refined, I suppose. So you could say a subtle moral lesson. You know, he learnt a subtle moral lesson. It was very refined. Or subtle, I suppose we could also talk about expert. So he's a subtle artist, just means he's an expert artist, expert at art, at his craft. Some examples. He has a soft, gentle and subtle way of correcting any mistakes that his students make. Or, I love your perfume. What a beautiful, subtle scent. Where did you get it? Or, there's a subtle difference between the new paint color that we have chosen and the color that the house was originally painted. Or only an expert can see the subtle difference between the original and the copy. Yeah. So there you go. There are 5 words this week that begin with the letter S. We've got sabotage, we've got skeptical, we've got superficial, we've got scrutinize, and the word subtle without the B pronunciation. So what I'd like you to do is to go and practice these words now. You know, become familiar with them, write example sentences using them, and really try to use them throughout the week when you're talking or when you're writing. And then, you know, you'll use them almost automatically, and I guarantee that when you hear them, you'll understand the exact meaning. Yeah, don't forget to go to my Facebook group, The Successful English Learner by Sydney English Teacher, and to download the worksheet for this week's Nicole's Weekly Words Vocabulary Lesson for episode 27. In the worksheet, you will see all of the words, all of the meanings explained really clearly, and all of the example sentences that I've shared with you today. There's also room for you to write your own example sentences and your own notes. So please do that. It's part of this course, and it's part of what will make you successful in learning and using these words accurately and confidently. So anyway, that's all for episode 27 for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. I do hope that you enjoyed this lesson, and more importantly, that you found it helpful. And I really look forward to seeing your example sentences. Do share them with me in the group. I'm more than happy to look at them and to correct them for you and give you feedback. And yeah, come back again next week for episode 28. Thanks everyone. Bye.